following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
The National Lampoon presents Just Thoughts.
What?
Look, I really do love you. I just gave you my ID, didn't I? Would I do that if I didn't love you? You know, I had to take the bus to get here. Do you think I would take a bus all the way over here if I didn't love you? You think I like taking buses? You know, you're the first girl I've ever really loved. Do you know what love is, Naomi? It's the way I'm feeling right now.
I love you, too.
Then will you give me a hand job?
Now let us join Robert Caucasian as he continues his never-ending struggle with flunkies, underlings, and lower downs.
I'll tell you, Bob, that stuffed veal shoulder was delicious. And the salad. It was such a relief not to see any bacon bits on it. Oh, I like this place. What a discovery. Whatever was it that you had, dear?
Mother, the squab. Delicious squab.
Quiet. You had squab?
Oh, yes, of course, with tarragon cream sauce, I believe. I think I had some sort of chestnut stuffing and vegetables, too.
Bob, do you know what a squab is?
Oh, yes, of course, Mother. It's a bird. It's a fowl of some kind.
It's a pigeon.
A what? It's a pigeon? Oh, wait a minute, Mom. Are you trying to tell me I just ate a goddamn flying rat with tarragon cream sauce? A gutter eel, a fucking sewer falcon with hearts of artichoke?
Pardon, monsieur. Quiet, s'il vous plaît.
I will not be quiet, you scummy frog. You just fed me a turd with feathers. A stinking ditch hawk. You expect me to be quiet? You know what I'm gonna do to you? I'm gonna get my fingers up your nose and I'm gonna tear your fucking French face off.
No, monsieur, no, please. Oh, look, wait, I'm not even French. I'm not a frog, man. I come from Brooklyn. Wait, get off me. God, help.
Oh, Bob, did you have to tear his face off?
Listen, Mother. All my life I've been dealing with inferior people and I'm fucking well sick of it.
You're just like your father.
So are you.
The Adventures of Robert Caucasian from the National Lampoon White Album, and before that, Hand Job, also from the National Lampoon White Album. My name is Mike Madonna, and this is the 14th podcast of The Brain Sandwich Show. National Lampoon's White Album I discovered when I was living in Kitzingen, Germany, back in 1980. Somebody that I was in the Army with had it, and I went out and got my own sometime later. But it was one of the most hysterical things I'd ever heard. And I'm finally glad to have it, and happy to share it, because a lot of it I couldn't share on the radio, and you've just discovered why. Well, let's start off big with the Colon Sphincter Band from their CD, The Brown Album. This is called High Roller on the Brain Sandwich Show.
He was a high roller, a man of means, a high roller with old funky blue jeans, smooth talker, feed you a line, whitewasher, 'cause money is time. Yeah, he remembers the 60s protest. When everybody was proud and thin, but it got kind of hard to remember where we started when the money came rolling in. He was a high roller,
sweetheart. Now, look, this is nothing to worry about, right? It's just a rehearsal.
A rehearsal?
You got it, Theo.
Don't upset me, Howard.
Right, now look, these are the words.
And I sing them.
No, you talk them.
You mean I don't get to sing?
No, you talk, sweetheart. And Barry over there, he plays the piano. That's Barry. Say hello to Barry.
Hello to Barry. Does he sing?
No, he plays the piano. Okay, come on, let's go.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you?
Hold it. Listen, do you think you can do it without the lollipop in your mouth?
The words will never show the you I've come to know.
Oh, terrific.
And if a face could launch 1,000 ships, then where am I to go?
Don't sing, sweetheart.
There's no one home but you.
Goodness.
You're all that's left me. Too.
Now the chorus singers come in, they sing right along with you. And one more.
And when my love for life is running dry, you come and pour yourself on me.
Oh, goodness.
Cool it. If a man could be two places at one time,
Keep it low, keep it butch.
well, I'd be with you.
No, lower. What's your image, Theo?
Later for you, baby. Beside you, all the way. If the world should stop revolving, spinning slowly down to die.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Shut up. I'd spend the end with you. And when the world was through,
He's got it. Sing, Barry, baby, sing.
then one by one, the stars would all go out. Then you and I would simply fly away.
Oh, that was gorgeous, Theo. Just gorgeous. Oh, mercy.
You want one?
Oh, thank you.
Does Barry want one?
Barry, do you want a lollipop?
No thanks, man.
You're beautiful, Barry.
Oh, Theo. Oh, these are truly wondrous. I mean, oh, heavens. Oh, Theo. Oh, what is in these lollipops?
You're under arrest, sweetheart.
Yin and Yang, covering the Bread classic If, and before that, High Roller by the Colon Sphincter Band. Okay, not that I'm getting into a theme or anything, but here's a couple things that have to do with Star Trek. We'll start out with Jeffrey's Tube and I Am a Spock on the Brain Sandwich Show.
Captain's log. Stardate 1540.7. I am alone, waiting on the bridge. I know what's in store to boldly go where no one's gone before. I am a Spock. I am a I'm half human, but sometimes even he can be a jerk. I am Spock, I am a Vulcan, and the Spock feels no pain, and the Vulcan never cries.
Navigator's log, stardate 3768.4. Another day, another planet, another adventure. And only 4 days till payday.
Report, Mr. Sulu.
Assuming standard orbit, Captain.
Uhura, open a hailing frequency to the Femudian High Council.
I have the minister, Captain.
Minister! Uhura, get him back!
All I get is static, Captain.
Spock, Bones, come with me. Scotty, you have the comm.
Aye, Captain. Mr. Sulu, have you located the captain on the planet?
Aye, sir.
Incoming message from the captain.
We have arrived in the council chamber. There's no one in sight. We'll keep you informed. Kirk out.
Sulu.
What?
Crazy Eights?
You always win, Crazy Eights.
Go fish?
All right. Got any fives?
Go fish. Got any eights? Any ones?
Go fish.
Mr. Scott, I have subspace interference.
Squelch it.
Got any twos?
Go fish. Got any sixes? I win. What is the matter?
Forget it.
I'm hungry.
Coming up on perihelion 3, 2, 1, mark.
I've got to check engineering. Mr. Sulu, you have the comm.
I say vodka.
I say scotch.
That's not fair. You picked scotch yesterday.
And I may pick it tomorrow. Now pay if you want to play.
All right. Acting Captain Sulu picks bourbon. Here's my bet. Chekhov, you hold the money. Chekhov, how about locating the captain on the planet?
Nah.
Hey, Landry, wake up.
I'm still hungry.
Child, you're always hungry.
Mr. Sulu, I'm reading a Force 10 hurricane on the planet.
Don't tell me. The captain, Mr. Spock, and Dr. McCoy are
located in the eye of the hurricane. And now the hurricane has vanished.
No kidding, knobhead.
Thank you, Mr. Sulu.
Aye, aye, Mr. Scott. Scotch. You're the winner, Uhura.
Pay up Chekhov.
Okay. Say, Uhura, play some Crazy Eights?
I'm on duty, mister.
Wake up, Mr. Landry, will you, Sulu?
Landry.
What?
I'll be right back.
Get me some chips.
Pavel, honey, will you get me a coffee?
Make that 2 coffees, Chekhov.
Why do I always have to get the food every time someone wants
Yes, she was only the milkman's daughter. Mr. Landry!
Sorry, sir. This is my second shift in a row.
Blasted Starfleet scheduling.
Okay, one coffee, one here, and the chips.
Say, Chekhov, do you have any more Rigelian speedballs?
Ask Nurse Chapel.
What is that you're eating?
Analis Niki.
I'm sorry I asked.
I forgot something. Mr. Sulu, you have the com.
What, again? He's going to need a new liver.
Chekhov, how about locating the captain on the planet?
Locate this, acting captain. Say, how come you keep getting the com?
How come you can't pronounce the letter V?
Very funny.
Phaser Mumbledy Peg?
Why won't anyone play Crazy Eights?
Phaser Mumbledy Peg or nothing. Come on, get the antimatter shielding.
Okay, but this time let's only set it on stun.
Chicken. Your turn.
Ow! Damn! Oh!
What a loser.
Hey, Sue, prop him up. Scotty's coming back.
Thank you, Mr. Sulu.
Thank you, Mr. Scotch.
Incoming message from the captain.
Kirk to Enterprise. Scotty! I need 800 gallons of black strap molasses and enough flour to cover Mr. Spock from head to toe.
Blackstrap molasses? Aye, sir. Coming right up.
Blackstrap molasses. It was invented in the Ukraine.
Boy.
I'm going to triangulate the captain's position.
You're not going to use Spock's computer, are you?
Why not? I'm as smart as that pompous half-breed.
Yeah, that's what you say, but remember what happened last time.
Remember last time.
I know what I'm doing! Oh, damn. Sulu, do you think...
You'll have to tell Mr. Spock yourself.
Sulu, get ready to transport the molasses on my signal. Transport away!
I'm reading a runaway power source on the planet, and it looks like it's going to blow.
Well, it is. I've earned me pay for this week. I can lick anyone on this bridge. Anyone. Come on, Sulu. Come on, acting Captain Sulu. What, are you afraid?
I'm not afraid of you, you drunken Highlands motorhead.
Secure from General Quarters, Mr. Scott.
Aye, aye, sir.
Well, if you ask me, it still doesn't add up. Why base a culture on a folktale? It's nonsensical. And then what do? You let that Vulcan Gormond loose on an innocent planet.
Oh, I don't know, Bones. It seemed to be the logical choice.
Yes, and the dessert was fascinating.
You wee bollock. Ah!
Mr. Scott. Scotty. Bones, take a look at him. He's unconscious. Scotty.
The Cab City Combo with Sulu's Day. Before that, Jeffrey's Tube with I Am a Spock. And that's all the Star Trek stuff we'll do today, because that's all the stuff I found today. Anyhow, let's go on to a song that I know that you know, especially if you were around in the late 70s and you saw the movie. You'll know which movie I'm talking about in just a moment. But this is a version you might not have heard before, and it stands on its own as a masterpiece of suckicity. I think I just created a new word, suckicity. Here's Ralph Pierce on The Brain Sandwich Show.
me. I'm the disco duck.
Kopfschmerzen und ich fühle mich nicht wohl. Ich habe Magenschmerzen und der Knochen ist vervoll. Ich möchte ein Glas kalter Milch, wo ist das Krankenhaus? Sie müssen im Bett bleiben und wo ist der Fledermaus? Ich verstehe nicht alles, was haben Sie gesagt?
Nein, er hat Unrecht.
Nein, nein, nein,
Er hat recht.
man hat mich bestohlen, bewegen Sie sich nicht und es gibt zu viel Wasser im Boot. Ich will $10 wechseln, dieser Bütter ist nicht Fisch. Ich habe einen Führerschein, ich esse keinen Fisch. Verkaufen Sie ein Hutgeschäft, verkaufen Sie dazu. Mein Hustenhalter ist zu warm und der Wasserfall ist klug. Ich verstehe nicht alles, was haben Sie gesagt?
Nein, er hat Unrecht.
Nein, nein, nein,
Er hat recht.
man hat mich bestohlen, bewegen Sie sich nicht und es gibt zu viel Wasser im Boot.
Boom shakalaka laka.
Sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut. Ich habe schlimm Kopfschmerzen und ich fühle mich nicht wohl. Ich habe Magenschmerzen und der Knochen ist vervoll. Ich möchte ein Glas kalter Milch, wo ist das Krankenhaus? Sie müssen im Bett bleiben und wo ist der Fledermaus? Ich verstehe nicht alles, was haben Sie gesagt?
Nein, er hat Unrecht.
Nein, nein, nein,
Er hat recht.
man hat mich bestohlen, bewegen Sie sich nicht und es gibt zu viel Wasser im Boot.
Boom ba-dum.
Sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut,
Boom ba-dum.
sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut,
Boom ba-dum.
sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut,
Boom ba-dum.
sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut,
Boom ba-dum.
sehr gut,
Boom shakalaka laka.
sehr gut.
Compressor with The Girl from Ipanema. Before that, The Credibility Gap and their foreign novelty smash. And started out with Disco Duck. That was Ralph Pierce. And I think that's the only other version of Disco Duck that exists except for the original. Here's something that I played on the radio program a few times. And the first time I ever played it, a woman calls up and she said, "That's the most precious thing I've ever heard." And so I realized that I have to do it now. I believe these guys are Dutch or Swedish or something. This is Ludwig von 88 with a cover version of Stairway to Heaven.
Church is cold, and she's spying us down to heaven. She can't, does she know? If the stores are all closed, with the work she can get what she can for. Sometimes words have to in a dream, bottom room, there's a song, but the sin. Sometimes all of it not harm is given.
With the dopey grin, he's muscle bound, but in the final round, every fight he'll win. The sequel was the worst, more corny than the first. It's a simple fact, this guy can't act, but he drives the women crazy with his sexy sneer. And I fear this mass of sinew will keep on raking in the bucks. His legend will continue. And now there's Rocky 3, and guess who it will be? Stallone again, naturally. When we begin to snuggle up, my girl turns out the lights and starts to pester. Be like Sylvester. She begs and begs, so I drank eggs. I don't think I'll survive Rocky 4 and 5. And if it clicks, Rocky 6, if I'm still alive. Then Superman 11 meets Rocky 47. And be sure to catch his exciting match with Rocky the Flying Squirrel. I sure need a break. I can't take this guy's persistence. My girl and I are splitting up. We'll never go the distance. He swept her off her feet, and I'm home punching meat. Alone again. Poor old me. Thanks to Stallone again. Naturally. Thank you.
Oh, we sailed down from Alaska on our way to Puget Sound. The skipper went aloft, he said he'd take a look around. When he came down, his face looked like he'd smelled an awful smell. And then he called all hands on deck, and we all heard him yell, who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? I'll knock him for a loop, that silly nincompoop. Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Then old second mate Guttormson says, what is this scuttlebutt? I think that I'll go up and look just for the halibut. But he came down and said, boys, this will be a smelly trip. Unless we find that halibut, we better burn the ship. Why, who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? My nose tells me it's there, but I've looked everywhere. Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Then the cook said to the captain, sir, before I make the soup, if you have no objection, I'll go snoop around the poop. The cook was pale when he came down, he headed for his bunk. He says, I never knew a fish could outperform a skunk. Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? The whole darn crew was weak from this game of hide and seek. Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Then up stepped Knutson, he is tougher than a boot. He says, I'll find that halibut, for my name ain't Knut. And 15 minutes later he had found where it was stored, and 20 seagulls fainted when he threw it overboard. Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? Who hid the halibut on the poop deck? We never knew about the screwball in the crew. Who had hid the halibut on the poop deck?
The Halos with The Nag. Before that, Barry Mitchell and Stallone again, naturally, and start off with Ludwig von 88's version of Stairway to Heaven. Here's something I picked up somewhere along the line. This is one of those little records that they used to put in magazines. You remember those, the little floppy records? And they didn't last long, but anyhow, this is one of them. This is Leif Garrett's fan club greeting he recorded back when he had a career. If you listen very closely, you can hear his paper rattling as he's reading from these notes that apparently somebody gave him. I guess he wasn't a good enough actor to be able to to do these things without notes. Anyway, judge for yourself. Here's Leif Garrett on the Brain Sandwich Show.
Hello, Leif Garrett here, and I want to take this opportunity to personally welcome you to my fan club. It really means a lot to me having you as a member because you already hold a special place in my heart. And now I feel we're even closer. Going into the music business is really exciting for me, and I'm really learning a lot about it. Before, I thought I loved acting the most of all and would never want to do anything else. But I've realized I can be interested in a lot of things and try to do my best in each. Since I've been an actor longer than a musician, I know a lot about the movie-making end of the show business. Now, as a singer, I'm learning new things every day, and it's exciting. What's nice is that I feel you're a part of this new venture, too. After all, I met you before I started making records, so sharing it with you is like something we can both grow with together. You might already know that I did my first promotional tour in Europe, and I had a wonderful time. Everyone treated me so nicely, and I learned a lot of different things about other countries. One thing that really bothered me in places like Germany and Spain was that I never knew what anyone was saying. I can't speak German or Spanish. I certainly wish I did. In fact, I made a promise to myself next time I go to Europe, I'll know how to speak some foreign languages, a little. And I'd like to be able to say hello, goodbye, how are you, these kind of things. The only place I didn't have any language problems was in England. I felt like I was back home again. Of course, there's no place like home, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you when I'm on tour. Tiger Beat will try to keep you posted on concert dates, but it's always good to check your local newspaper for listings, and listen to your favorite radio station for reports too. I'd hate to miss seeing you. I really hope you enjoy being a part of my own fan club. Write and let me know. And each month, just for you, I'll have a secret message in Tiger Beat magazine. Only fan club members like you will know what it says, because you are the only ones who have a special decoder. Don't lose yours. If you did, you wouldn't know what I was saying, and you'd feel like I did in Europe, lost. Lately, I've been having a lot of fun driving my Fiat. I've always liked cars, and with all the gifts I got for my 16th birthday, cap, scarf, gloves, keyring, I like driving more than ever. That especially makes my mom happy. Because if she needs me to run an errand, I don't mind. Any excuse to get in my car and go. I've been reading a lot of mechanical manuals, too. So I'd be able to fix things myself when they go wrong. I can already do a little, but like I said before, it's always exciting to learn new things. It's true I've been working a lot these days, but I've been taking some time out for fun also. I have a boat with my own docked up north where some of my relatives live. And I've had a few opportunities to take it out. Now that it has a new motor, I can take it just about any place. It's one of my favorite things to do. Pack a lunch, head out early, and just spend a carefree day cruising on the sea. And when I'm not behind the helm, I'm behind the boat on water skis. Since Peter Lundy, I've been doing some regular horseback riding too. Someday I'd like to have a horse of my own I could ride whenever. And be friends with it too, like Peter and San Domingo were. Riding is a nice way to relax, just riding off by yourself or with someone into the countryside. Get exercise too. We all need plenty of that. My skateboard still gets to work out too. It's one of the things I'll always enjoy even with a car, is a bicycle ride. Going dancing is fun too. And so is talking with you right here. I don't really have a lot of time to answer fan mail, but I do try. I make an effort at least to read a lot of it so you don't feel your letters are being ignored. I love reading them, especially when you tell me all about you. I already know about me, and I've answered so many questions about myself in the past few years that I enjoy finding out what other people have to say. What are your hobbies? What school do you go to? Do you have any sisters or brothers? Let me know and try and send a picture along with it too. Again, I already know what I look like. So now I want to see you. Don't forget about your monthly secret message from me to you in Tiger Beat magazine and Tiger Beat Star magazines either. I've got special things to tell you about, and they're just for you, so keep your decoder handy. Before I leave you on this recording, that is, I want to thank you for being so wonderful. It's fans like you who make me smile from my heart. See you later.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You have made me what I am yours. My love, there are so many ways I want to say I love you. Let me hold you in my arms forevermore. You have gone and made me such a fool. I am so lost in your love. And oh, we belong together. my life I made it whole. Forever, let me wait to see you each and every morning. Let me hear you whisper softly in my ear. In my eyes, I see no one but you. There's no other love like our love. And yes, oh yes, I always want you near me. I wait for you for so long, lady. You're the only love I need. Right beside me is where I choose you. Cause my life, there's something I want you to know. You are the love of my life. You are my lady.
I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll give you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. For I don't care too much for money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so, can't buy me love. No, 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 no. I'll give you all I've got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I've got I'll give to you. For I don't care too much for money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Love can't buy me
Madam Kathy Berberian with Can't Buy Me Love. Before that, another one of my Make It or Break It's that made it for whatever reason, Lady by Whooshi Spakamoto, and start out with Leif Garrett's fan club greeting, and even then you could tell how plastic it was, I guess, huh? Okay, here it is. This is the final chapter, chapter 10 of Dead Men Prowl in the Adventures by Morse series. I know you've all been waiting for it, so I won't keep it from you any longer. Here is Dead Men Prowl, the final chapter.
Adventures by Morse. Carlton E. Morse presents Dead Men Prowl, featuring Captain Friday.
If you like high adventure, come with me. If you like the stealth of intrigue, come with me. If you like blood and thunder, come with me.
2 days ago, Captain Bart Friday and his friend and guest, Dr. Croft, arrived in the little resort village of Holman across the bay from San Francisco. They had intended spending a quiet weekend at Captain Friday's summer cottage, but they had no sooner arrived in the village when things began to happen. On the beach, they stumbled on the dead body of old Doc Sims. They found Andrew Waters, the other wealthy man of the village, dead by hanging. Then they found the half-wit Hartley boy shot through the heart. The weird part of the whole thing is the fact that these 3 dead are apparently prowling the streets and houses of the town of Holman. That right, Captain Friday?
Yes, that's right. I've tried everything. Handcuffed them, tied them down, even stuffed the 3 bodies in the refrigeration room at the morgue. But it didn't do any good. They're still prowling. The only thing I know for certain is that Doc Sims and Andrew Waters are brothers. Walters had been masquerading under an assumed name. The half-wit Hartley boy had been accidentally shot by Andres Ruiz. I've smoked out that much, plus the fact that our other guests, Andres and Carmel Ruiz, and Gail and Martin Stanley, are related. But this latest development has just about got me stumped. Carmel Ruiz has disappeared.
Yes, Carmel Ruiz has disappeared. The prowling dead have taken the little cousin of Andres. Death stalks in Holman. While Dr. Jamie Croft lay bound and gagged in Captain Friday's cottage, and while the captain and Andres were racing along the coast of the Pacific to bring back the runaway Martin and Gail Stanley, brother and sister, one of the prowling dead had somehow escaped from the ruins of the morgue. He escaped from the ruins to stalk into the rear window of the cottage and kidnap the sleeping Carmel. And the dead thing who did this was the strangled body of our own uncle, Andrew Waters, the prowler who earlier had buried Gail Stanley alive in the sand. And the reason Captain Friday knew it was Waters was that the prowler had left damp footsteps on the bedroom floor and on the wet sand outside the window. And those footprints were Andrew Waters. And the thing with the swollen face, dead eyes, and a rope around its neck had Carmel Ruiz in his possession. Andres Ruiz, cousin of Carmel, is beside himself over the disappearance of Carmel. He is pacing the floor in Captain Friday's summer cottage.
But I will go crazy. I will kill myself if anything have happened to my Carmel. If you do not find her, Senor Captain, I will go mad.
Now, take it easy, Andres. Sit down, will you? You get on my nerves pacing up and down like that.
But Captain Friday...
Now, look here, Andres, be reasonable. There's no use running around the country. We'd never find her that way. If you'll just hang on to yourself for a minute.
You have idea?
I might have if you'd be quiet for just 2 minutes.
Oh, in 2 minutes I will be mad. I do not know what I do now.
Look here, Andres. I can't tell you how sorry I am. I haven't the faintest idea of what happened to Carmel.
Well, you have shown very bad nature, Senor Stanley. I do not know what to believe about you.
I don't blame you for saying that. It's true, and I know it, and I'm sorry.
Well, for why have you done all these things? Say bad things. Try to run away.
I don't know. I'm always pulling something I'm sorry for afterwards, but look here, Andres, if there's anything I can do to help save Carmel, I'll go the limit to do it.
And he means it too, Andres.
Yes, I think he does.
Hey, look, everyone. I've got a hunch. I'm going out for 3 or 4 minutes, and you 4 stay here. Don't one of you dare move out of this room.
Not out of the room?
Not a move.
Like company, Captain?
No, not this time, Dr. Croft. I've got to travel fast. Anyway, I'd like you to stay here with the others. You'll all be safer.
But what about your own safety, Captain?
Don't worry, I'll be okay. Now, mind now. Don't even leave the room.
Where do you suppose he's going?
Oh, if he will only bring back Carmel.
Oh, I hope he does.
I feel we should be doing something.
Oh, see, but Captain Friday said to wait here.
It's all nonsense sitting around in one room when we might be out searching.
You are nervous too, Senor Doctor. Oh, it is enough to make everybody crazy.
But still, Captain Friday said he had an idea.
Yes, but supposing it is wrong, Miss Stanley.
You're right there, Andres. Theories are very dangerous things to work with. They're as apt to be wrong as right.
And still, I have very great faith in this captain.
Oh, yes, we must believe in him. We'd be lost if we didn't. Oh, who else have we to turn to?
Well, there's Dr. Croft here.
I'm afraid I'm not much of a detective, Stanley.
I tell you, it is not possible that my uncle Andrew Walters took Carmel. It is not possible. He's dead.
The dead have done a number of impossible things lately, I'm afraid, Andres.
Oh, I know, but I see with my own eyes the walls of the morgue fall down on all 3 bodies. They are pinned under hundreds of tons of stone and mortar.
It's a wonder you and the captain weren't killed.
Well, we would have been if we had not seen the walls falling and run into the ice-cold room, which protected us a little from the falling stones.
A remarkable escape, Andres.
Oh, but what I am interested in is about these bodies. They are buried deep under the walls, and yet one of the dead men have carried off Carmel.
Open the door. Somebody open the door, quick.
Oh, it is the captain. I will open it. Carmel! Carmel! We have found Carmel!
I Hi, get out of the way, Andres. Can't you see she's tied hand and foot?
Is she hurt, Captain? Is she hurt? Oh, no.
Here, let me put her on the lounge.
Here is knife, senor. Cut her loose. Here.
For the love of Mike, Andres, get out from underfoot.
She is not hurt. Tell me she's not hurt.
Oh, Carmel, please. You mustn't cry like that. You mustn't.
There. Here, Andres. Take the knife and cut her legs free.
Si, senor. I will do anything. Oh, Carmel, but it is good you are safe.
Poor kid. Get back, you folks. Don't crowd in so close around her.
Here, Captain. Let me give her a couple of these tablets. She mustn't go on like that.
Will they quiet her?
I think they will. Here, child. Swallow these and then take a sip of water.
Is there anything I can do, Dr. Croft?
No, I think not. She's just highly wrought up. She'll grow quieter in a few minutes.
Here, Andres. You sit here beside her. She was calling for you when I found her.
She was calling for me? Oh, senor. She was calling for me. Oh, never again will I let you out of my sight.
You know, Gail, that Andres isn't such a bad fellow either.
I knew he was in love with Carmel the moment I first saw them together.
But, Captain, where was Carmel? Where did you find her?
Well, if you've examined this cottage closely, you'll notice that the backs of the closets have not been finished off. You can go through the back in among the floor studdings and rafters.
Oh, yes. Yes, I noticed that.
Well, my old aunt used to put junk that she didn't want to throw away back in them. I found Carmel stuffed back among the joists and studdings of her own closet.
But what made you look there?
Well, then you must have carried her through the back window and around to the front door.
Yes, I did, all right.
But what for?
Did it to throw our would-be murderer off the trail.
Off the trail? You mean he's around here?
Maybe, maybe not.
But why didn't we hear her crying?
She was gagged.
Captain, what made you think of looking in the house for her?
It would have been too dangerous to take her out. He might have been spotted. Besides, the tracks he left when he went away showed he wasn't carrying anything.
No, I remember it, Captain. That was the same clue you got when we were hunting Miss Stanley here, when she was buried in the sand.
Well, you'd think even a dead body'd learn not to make the same mistake twice in a row.
And so you figured out the body must be in the house. How did you happen to think of looking in the girl's own wardrobe?
I figure he'd probably be working fast, not knowing how long I'd be gone. Besides, Dr. Croft, you were tied up in the other room. Might get free at any minute.
Yes. Quite natural when you stop to think of it. And so, from force of necessity, you figured he'd hide her in the handiest place.
Mm-hmm. Force of necessity and craftiness. He'd hardly expect us to look so near the scene of the crime for her. Oh, Andre seems to have Carmel quieted. Perhaps we can talk to her now. We'll have a try, anyhow.
And Carmel, you're not going to cry anymore, eh? Oh, we're going to be very happy, you and I. And Chiquita.
Well, Carmel, you don't look like the same young lady I carried in a few minutes ago.
Oh, but, senor, she understands now that she's going to be very happy for the rest of her life.
Yeah? Look here, Carmel, you feel like talking?
Yes.
Please, you will not bring back bad memories?
I'm sorry, Andres, but we've got to get all the information we can.
Please, Andres. I don't mind. If you'll sit beside me.
Oh, nothing in the world could make me move.
Okay. Now then, tell us what happened.
I was asleep when something touched me, and I opened my eyes and...
Oh, please, Cap...
I'm all right, Andres. And there was a horrible face looking down at me. Didn't look like it was alive. And there was a rope around its neck.
Oh, it is a monstrous thing.
What did you do?
When he saw I was awake, put his hand over my mouth. I tried to scream, but I couldn't. He held me so tight, I fought just as hard as I could.
Oh, my poor Carmel.
And one of his fingers slipped into my mouth. And I bit down on it just as hard as I could.
You bit his finger, huh?
Yes. And when he jerked it away, there was blood on his hand.
Captain, a dead man doesn't bleed.
No, he doesn't.
No. Yes, that's just what I was thinking. What then, Carmel?
Well, he put a cloth around my face so I couldn't see or scream after he tied me up so I couldn't move. He carried me someplace.
But if it is live, man... Captain, my uncle could not be alive and dead at the same time.
Never heard of it being done before.
But if there's a live man mixed up in this thing, we ought to get after him.
Yes, but where would we look?
I think that'll be easy.
You mean, you know where he is?
I have a hunch I can walk out that door into the hallway and march our friend Andrew Walters back in here in jig time.
What do you say?
You mean he's listening to us on the other side of the door?
I have a hunch he's been listening, all right.
Oh.
Dr. Croft, you mind coming with me?
Not at all.
You armed?
No, but...
Never mind. I don't think we'll have much trouble. Now, you folks stay here. And I mean right where you are. I'll be back in 2 minutes with Andrew Walters, dead or alive.
Captain Friday has promised the 4 young people, Andres and Carmel Ruiz and Gail and Martin Stanley, that he would return in 2 minutes with Andrew Walters, the man who was found hanged in his home. The eyes of the 4 are fixed on the doorway as it opens slowly and cautiously.
That's him. That's Andrew Walters. Oh, he's the one that choked me. The rope around his neck. Oh no.
All right, go on in. I've got a gat in your back, and I won't hesitate
Take him
to use
away. Take him away.
It's all right. I have his hands cuffed together behind him. He can't hurt you.
But who is it? Hey, don't you see? Don't you see? He's got on one of those rubber face masks.
Oh, no.
What is this?
Captain Friday, where's Dr. Croft?
Don't you know?
But, Captain, it is Dr. Croft behind that mask, Doctor.
Sure. Have a look.
Captain Friday, would you mind removing that rope from around my neck? It has an ugly feeling.
Now, see here, Doctor. I'm giving you your choice. Do you tell him, or do I?
Why, it will make a very pleasant story. I think I should like to tell it.
All right, go ahead.
My dear nieces and nephews.
What's that?
What did you say?
For why you call us nieces and nephews?
Because it happens due to certain biologic and sociological phenomena to be true.
Oh, cut that stuff out. Who are you, anyway?
How very like Doc Sims you are in temperament, boy.
Nuts.
As to who I am, do you recall the autobiography left by Andrew Walters, alias Vance Sims? Do you recall that there was a third brother, Franklin Sims, who was murdered in the Near East? I am Franklin Sims. Right, Captain?
That's right. Get along with the story, Doctor.
Oh, yeah, quite right. You see, that night 20 years ago, when we got news that our father was dying, the night Doc Sims took Vance out and got him thoroughly intoxicated, and then hit me over the head and dumped me in a nasty-smelling river.
Then Doc Sims, not Andrew Walters, was the murderer.
Oh, no, there was no murderer. For I crawled out of the river, and foul and smelly as I was from the thick river water, I continued to live.
But if you are who you say you are, why didn't you come back to the United States at once and claim your part of the estate?
Because, my dear, for almost 3 years I was so horribly ill I spent most of my time balancing on the brink between life and death. Later, I went to Germany, and I became a medical student.
And still you didn't try to get your share of the money?
My life had become a thing apart from my family and my rightful estate. I intended never to return to America. And then about 12 years ago, everything became changed again. I became interested in certain biological experimentations. I spent every cent I had saved, could earn and borrow, and still I needed more. And then I remembered the great fortune which had been taken from me in America. I determined to get it back by fair means or foul. It was mine, and I determined to have it.
But, senor, it was not us who had hurt
Wait a
you.
minute, Andres. I returned to San Francisco under the assumed name of Dr. Jamie Croft and set up office while I got the lay of the land. When I first arrived, my brother Doc Sims held the entire estate. It seemed an easy matter to put him out of their way. Enter my claim. And then I discovered that he had a niece and a nephew to whom the property would go in the case of his death. That's you, Miss Stanley, and your brother Martin. And while I was trying to find some means of overcoming this difficulty, who should come on the scene but Andrew Walters, and without any fuss he took over half the Sims estate. It took me 3 years to discover that he was my other brother Vance. And then, by a bit of housebreaking and prowling, I discovered that he too had a niece and nephew whom he favored in case of his death. They were you, Carmel, and you, Andres.
Yes, go on.
Well, in the meantime, I was working out a little scheme which worked rather nicely when the time came. About 8 years ago, my brother, Doc Sims, died.
Hey, what's that?
Our uncle died 8 years ago?
Yes, all of 8 years ago. And being on the ground at the time, I quietly buried the body and stepped into his shoes.
Now, wait a minute, Doctor. I've known both you and Doc Sims for more than 2 years.
Which says a great deal for my ability as an impersonator.
Do you mean to say that you've been acting the part of 2 doctors for 8 years?
I have sufficient proof for even you, Captain Friday.
But the body. We saw the body of Doc Sims.
That, my dear, was also a plant. For the last year, I've been taking care of an old chap over in my San Francisco office. He was a nondescript without any family. But he looked remarkably like me in my role of Doc Sims. For 6 months, I practically made him live with narcotics and drugs, waiting for the proper time to inject him into the picture. And when Andrew Walters mellowed and sent for Andres and Carmel to come and live with him, I knew the time was at hand.
Yeah? Well, you'll have to explain that a little.
Easily. My whole trouble lay in the 4 cousins who were to inherit the 2 estates. They must be gotten rid of. With all 4 in Holman, I believed that might be attended to.
You were going to kill us all.
And so when my brother Vance, or Andrew Walters as you know him, called you 2, I sent for Gale and Martin Stanley.
What about this old fellow you passed off for Doc Sims?
Now, Captain, I assure you I didn't kill him. The poor chap died a natural death. Dig his body out of the morgue ruins, show it to any coroner. Worn-out body will be the verdict.
Died mighty handy for you.
Quite, but the point is he did die, and naturally. Which, by the way, gave me the idea for the rest of this amusing little drama which has occurred since.
And you admit that you're responsible for the movement of these bodies from the morgue?
Naturally.
And you admit burying Gale Stanley alive?
My apology, Miss Stanley, but it wasn't necessary to my plan.
Oh, you must be mad.
Quite sane, thank you, quite sane. And, by the way, Captain, I had to rush like the deuce to get Andrew Walter's shoes back on him before you and Martin got to the morgue. But I made it all right.
Yes, so I notice.
And you're the guy that took a shot at me in Doc Sim's study and clubbed Captain Friday over the head.
Again, my apologies. I always was a bad shot.
You put us out and then took the papers out of the safe and stuck them in the pocket of your substitute, Doc Sims, and left his body where we'd find it.
Exactly.
Well, what for?
To impress you all with the fact that dead bodies actually were on the prowl.
And you leave Carmel's handkerchief in Dr. Sims' house. Why you do that?
Oh, that was simply a little touch to implicate you, Andres, and to cause dissension between you and Stanley here.
Nice fellow.
And it was you who shot at me from the hall when we were upstairs examining Andrew Walter's room?
You know, Captain, I think that was my masterpiece.
How did you do it?
Why, I simply had the Hartley boy's body handy. When you, Carmel, and Andres were in the room, I crept upstairs. I got the body, I took a crack at Andres, I shouted, and I rolled down the stairs with a half-wit's body.
Oh, sacrament.
Startling bit of realism, eh, Captain?
Dr. Croft, were you the one that got us to go to the refrigeration room of the morgue?
I thought I had all of you that time. After knocking the captain out, I ran to the cottage and, changing my voice as much as possible, told you to go to the basement of the morgue. When you rushed in, I swung the door shut and there you were.
Please, when we liked you so much, how could you do that to us?
Oh, let's not go into that, please. Well, then I set the 3 bodies on guard. Startling effect, eh, Captain?
Then you came back and dragged me in the closet with you and locked the door.
And all the time we were breaking down the door, I had the key in my pocket.
Seems to me I'm the guy that told you once that the solution to this business, once I got my hands on it, would be so simple I'd blush to think I didn't get wise to it sooner. Well, get an eyeful of me blushing.
Oh, see here, Captain, you're not giving me enough credit. I admit, however, I made a couple of mistakes. One of them was forgetting to turn off the light in the morgue. If I hadn't been in such a hurry that time, you'd never have thought of searching the morgue until it was too late.
See here, Doctor. How did you fix it so that the half-wit took a shot at me and then fell down the stairs?
Simple. I braced the body against the handrail and hooked the gun in his coat. Fastened the trigger to the door with a piece of wire. Presto! When the door opened, the gun exploded, the body lunged down the stair.
Good thing for me you didn't allow for the up-jerk of the muzzle of the revolver when it went off.
I told you I didn't know much about guns, Captain. After all, I'm a medical man, not a gangster.
But why did you kill the half-wit boy? Surely he didn't...
Oh, that I know nothing about.
You didn't kill the boy?
Please, he did not. I did not know it until the Senor Captain told me, but It was I who did this thing.
Andres. Andres, you didn't.
Oh, please, Carmel. It was most horrible mistake.
It's like this. Remember the night you kids saw the skeleton on the beach and Andres shot at it? Well, the skeleton was the half-wit boy, and Andres killed him. His father had given him several rubber masks and some luminous paint for Halloween, and the foolish boy continued to use it to amuse himself. The boy's father knows all about this now.
And that, by the way, is where I got that mask you recently saw on my face. I found it lying outside the morgue.
Dr. Croft, what was your idea in blowing up the morgue?
Oh, Captain, you cannot imagine how uneasy a person grows having a bloodhound like yourself on his trail. I grew more and more certain that you were beginning to suspect the truth. So, I laid the trap and got you and Andres off on a pretext of hearing a woman scream.
Well, I'm glad I knocked you over the head. Too bad I didn't do a better job of it.
I get your point exactly, Martin. The real Sim Spirit.
Oh, I never want to hear that name again.
You see, you made your big mistake, Doctor, when you kidnapped Carmel here. I was plain crazy.
You're right, Captain. But I was getting rather upset. Things were growing a little too warm. You'll have to excuse it on that basis, I'm afraid. You see, I'd stolen Andrew Walter's shoes again before I set the trap in the morgue. But I must confess I entirely forgot to make deep tracks in the sand when I left. Deuced thoughtless of me.
Yes. So was that stunt of hiding your mask and rope and shoes in your medicine case after you'd finished with them.
Undoubtedly. Oh, I can see a number of things I'd do differently if I were going to do it over again.
You know, one thing puzzles me, though. How did you get the body of this substitute Doc Sims on the beach?
Captain, I don't know if you realize it, but I angled like the juice to get you to bring me over to Holman on this particular weekend.
Yeah, now that I think of it, you were plenty eager to come.
Well, I got the invitation. The day we were to come over, I took the body in my launch and I brought it over. The natives seldom walk on the beach, so I felt perfectly safe in leaving it there for a few hours. I got back to San Francisco just in time to meet you. Then we came over together.
Oh. I presume you know we've got enough attempted murder charges against you to keep you behind bars for life.
But you're not going to use them, are you, Captain?
You think not?
Drag these children through the mire of prosecuting their own uncle? Bring all this family history to light?
Oh, no. We don't want to do that. I couldn't bear it.
Exactly.
That's just too bad.
Now, look, Captain Friday, haven't we gone through it enough?
Are you folks crazy? I think the police department would like to have a little talk with Dr. Croft. As a matter of fact... Come in.
Hey, for crying out loud, Cappy, I've been... Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you had company.
Oh, that's all right, Skip. These people are all friends.
Yeah? Well, you sure got some nice friends, boss.
Now, this is Gail Stanley. Miss Stanley, my right-hand man, Skip Turner.
Hello, Skip.
Howdy, Miss Stanley.
And Miss Carmel Ruiz.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Turner?
Miss Ruiz. Well, now, ain't that funny? You know, I think I remember meeting you before, Miss Ruiz. Carmel? Wasn't it down
Skip.
at, Huh?
Did you come all the way from San Francisco just to meet my guests?
Oh, hey, I almost forgot. We got an important job down south.
Down south? Where down south?
Hollywood. Here's a telegram.
Who's it from?
Don't say. Go ahead and read it.
Meet me at Maggie's Intimate Drinking Salon, Sunset Strip, Hollywood, tonight at 8. Signed, A Desperate Sister. And what is this, a gag?
Gag? I just got a phone call from the same gal, and she wired us $1,000 expense money.
Why did you phone?
Well, just to be sure we'd be there at 8 o'clock tonight. Hey, look, we just got time to catch a 5 p.m. plane south. That's why I hustled over here. I got the tickets.
She must be desperate.
Come on, we ain't got no time to lose, boss.
Okay, Skip, we'll look into it. Oh, by the way, you got your handcuffs?
Why, sure. Why?
Just slip them on Dr. Croft here. We'll drop him off at the Hall of Justice.
You bet you. Here you are, fella. And the other one. There you go. Nice little charm bracelet.
Oh, see here, Captain Friday, I can afford
Save it for the judge, Dr. Croft. He loves those little stories. The rest of you check in with the police in San Francisco. I'll see you as soon as I get back from Hollywood. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, Carmel, if you should happen to be in Hollywood in the
Come
next
on,
few
Skip.
days.
There's a desperate sister waiting for us in Maggie's Intimate Drinking Salon. Let's get moving.
So Captain Friday and his operative Skip Turner are headed for Maggie's Intimate Drinking Salon on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood. The telegram said to be there at 8 o'clock tonight and was sent by one who signed herself A Desperate Sister. Tune in next week at the same time for this newest adventure thriller by Carlton E. Morse titled You'll Be Dead in a Week. You are listening to Adventures by Morse.
All right, that was the final chapter of Dead Men Prowl. Hope you followed it, hope you enjoyed it, and that you've kept it in your iPod or your computer, whatever you're listening to this on, and whatnot. There'll be more adventures of Captain Friday to come because I haven't received any emails saying that you haven't liked it, so I'm just going to take that as a good sign, and I'll get you some of those in the future. The next few podcasts will not have an Adventures by Morse serial, but I've got some other things I want to do here, and I will get to those beginning with the next podcast, which is number 15. I'm also going to be completing the Christmas program, which should be done and up in just a few more days. I'll be working on that over this Thanksgiving holiday. Okay, well, if you want to get a hold of us, brainboys@AOL.com. You can send a message there to either myself, Jim, or Jay. These are the two other fellows I'll be doing some shows with after the beginning of the year. Some of you listen to this know who they are already. Some of you have yet to meet them. So we'll see how that happens. It'll probably be mostly talk when we get together because that's what it was on the radio. We'll be recording these shows at one of their friends' houses because he has a home studio that has can accommodate all these microphones and stuff. I'm going to close with a song here. This is probably the blandest or most bland Hotel California I've ever heard. This is by the Castle Park High School Band. It goes back to 1977, and as far as I'm concerned, it can stay back in 1977. Let's close with it. Adios.
Nineteen